Good morning, class 9 students. This is the second part of the chapter, The Sound of Music, written by Deborah Cowley. Deborah Cowley, she is a freelance writer and a broadcaster. The chapter is divided in two parts. The first part belongs to Evelyn Glennie. She is a renowned uh, Scottish percussionist, and the second part uh, revolves around Bismillah Khan, the renowned Shehnai player. Uh, you know, the chapter is about two renowned uh, maestros, Evelyn Glennie and Bismillah, and also the chapter will take you through the journey of these two great legends, and they belong to the field of music and the instruments they play. The chapter also highlights the importance and significance of hard work, strong will, and your determination. That if you are hardworking, if you have a strong will, it will be easier for you to achieve your goals, irrespective of the fact irrespective of the fact that you have n numbers of problems and hindrance on your path. Let me just give you a glance over the portion we covered. So, the chapter began with a 17 years old girl. She was very nervous and also she was excited because she was waiting at the railway station, and she's waiting for the train that is bound to London. She actually belongs to Scotland, and she is leaving Scotland, its farm and countryside behind, and she was about to embrace the fast life of London. That is why she was nervous. But it was not at all intimidating for her, because she has faced bigger challenges in her life. Bigger challenges, because when she was 8 year old, her mother realized that her hearing ability was getting weak, right? And she tried to hide her disability from her friends and teachers, but by the time she turned 11, uh, everybody is aware of Evelyn's disability. So her mother was advised by the headmistress that she should take her daughter to a specialist and also get her enrolled in a school made for these children. And she was also advised to to take hearing aid. But you know she has so many difficulties, and because of her inability, you know Evelyn, she wanted to she wanted to have a normal life, like the usual child, and for this she was very determined. And she decides that she will pursue music. And one day, when she saw a girl who was playing the xylophone, and this kind of uh, evoke and her interest in the same field, and she wanted to play that musical instrument too. Later in the part of the chapter, we find that Ron Forbes, who happens to be a percussionist, he acknowledged her talent and told her not to listen music through her ears. He recommended her that she must feel the music through other senses, with the help of her body parts. So at that moment, Evelyn realized that she could actually sense, she could feel the higher sound from the waist up, and the lower sound from the waist bottom. And she also learned to open her mind and body to different sounds and music. And after that, she never looked back. She progressed, and she honed her skills. So she travel and she's deaf, but she traveled all across the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra. And then later, she auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music in London, and she scored the highest grades in the history of the academy, and she was given the admission in Royal Academy of Music, uh, right? And then after her this orchestral performance group performance, she decides that she would pursue solo performance. She will perform solo, right? So at the end of 3 years course, she also she managed to earn lot of prestigious awards. And she did not feel proud for her achievement, because instead she said that if you are aware of your goal, if you knew that what your goal is, right, you can easily achieve it if you will try to give your 100%, and if you will try to focus on your goal. And later she becomes the world most topmost multi percussionist. And then she also mastered the 1,000 instruments. And surprisingly, it is not surprising that she was able to speak clearly in Scottish accent, because she did not lose her hearing at a very tender age. She lost it gradually. So it means when she was like 1 or 2 year old, she could listen. So that's why her accent was very it was great and it was clear. But what surprising thing is that after 11 years she lost her hearing completely. But uh, still she was able to learn French and the basic Japanese word. So that is very surprising. How did she manage to do without you know yes without being able to hear? So now it's time for us to to carry on with the remaining portion. As for the music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. Tingles means when something causes, some kind of sensation on the surface of your skin. So, in this paragraph, she says that every part of her body, it actually feels the music. Uh, the way you pour water, the way you pour water in the glass. Similarly, when she does not listen through her ears, she listens the music with the help of her skin, her body part. And even she could feel the music and the vibration and the sound uh, in her skin, in her cheekbones, and even her hair also help her to listen music. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her finger trips. And whenever she plays any musical instrument, she could actually sense and feel that the sound, the vibration, they are actually, uh, you know, touching her tip of the finger, and then reaching to her, her soul and her mind. By leaning against the drum, she can feel the resonance. Resonance means echo. And if she will lean forward, she will bend forward, she could actually feel the echo of drums. uh, on a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibration pass through her bare feet and up her legs. And when she perform on stage, what does she do? She remains barefoot so that her feet can actually absorb in the vibrations and the sound, right? And all these vibrations, they pass through her feet and through her legs. So, not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. Evelyn delights her audiences means she always manages to entertain her audience to the fullest. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. In 1991, she was conferred with this award. You have to remember this. I am highlighting it for you. It's RPS prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. what we hear she feels far from deeply than any of us. So in this paragraph we come across this name James. He is a very famous and renowned and remarkable percussionist, and he has stated that God has taken uh, Evelyn's hearing ability, but in return, he has given her something very extraordinary. We people have ear, but still we cannot get into the depth of music and sound with ear, even having ear. But this woman, Evelyn Glennie, she does not even have ears, but she could actually, can actually feel and sense every part of the music and vibration, and also she can express music so beautifully. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. Workaholic means who is always dedicated to his work and always working. I have just got to work often harder than classical musicians, but the reward are enormous. And this paragraph shows that she is very hardworking. She is always working, and she works harder than classical musicians. And if you will put your 100%, obviously you will get enormous means huge awards. Apart from regular concerts, she performs regular concerts. Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals, and this is very this shows that she is very generous and kind, because she also perform in prisons and hospitals for patients and for prisoners. And she also gives high priority to classes for young musicians, and she also teaches young musicians. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she's a shining inspiration for deaf children. And this personality has quoted here that Evelyn, she's a shining star, she's a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere they cannot go. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussions to the front of the orchestra. Evelyn Glennie, she has accomplished a lot. She has achieved a lot, and she is not so old. I mean, she is middle aged, and she has achieved a lot, which even the older people, the smart people haven't been able to achieve it. And she has actually given the new definition to percussionist and and the field of percussion, because she has brought percussions to the front of the orchestra. In case you have forgotten the meaning of what is percussionist. Percussionist is a young person who plays drums and the tabla, right, and other musical instruments. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped people, who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And she is more like an inspiration to all the people who are disabled, right? Because she has given them inspiration that they may be physically disabled, but they are not mentally disabled. They can achieve everything if they want to, if they set their mind to it, right? So, not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions, and she has been so remarkable that everybody praises her. And uh, it's like an achievement. uh, Now let's go through the question answers. These are thinking about the comprehension skill. Answer these questions in a few words or a couple of sentences each. How old was Evelyn when she went to the Royal Academy of Music? So how old she was. So this will be the this is the we actually we this is a kind of our criteria that we go through all the question answers in the last part of the chapter. So we will not be discussing these question answers. We will be discussing the question answers in the separate video. So it's time for us to proceed with the second part, and the second part is devoted to the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Bismillah Khan, the second part of the chapter portrays the journey of Bismillah Khan. You're aware that Bismillah, he is a maestro in Shehnai, right? And think of Shehnai, and the first thing you will probably imagine is a wedding or a similar occasion or a function. The next would probably be Ustad Bismillah Khan, the Shehnai maestro, playing this instrument. See, it was very common and popular to have, to listen to the music of Shehnai in weddings, in Indian weddings, in those times. But now the time has changed. And now we have DJs and musical instruments and all, right? But there was a time when Shehnai was quite popular even in weddings, and everybody loved to hear it. So let's go through this. Let's go through it. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called punji in the royal residence. For it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. So before I explain this, this paragraph to you, let me just explain the meaning of this word Panji. Panji is actually, it's a musical instrument you must have seen in movies, and it is like it is used by snake charmer. It is used by snake charmer. So in those time, Aurangzeb, he did not like the sound of, it is actually different from Shehnai, but it's kind of same. So but Aurangzeb, he did not like the sound of Panji, because it has a very shrill means very loud, unpleasant sound. So he banned this instrument in his residence, in his where he lives and dwells. Panji became the generic name for reeded noisemakers. The reeded means wind instruments which have reeds like flute, right? So that is why he banned reeded noisemakers. And what happened? Few had thought it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the panji. So a barber of a family of professional musicians, there was a professional musicians, they were professional musicians, and he decided, they had access to the royal palace of Aurangzeb, and they decided that they would improve the quality of the panji, the quality, the sound, because when you play panji, it does not give very soothing or a pleasant sound. So they decided that they would they would do something, they would bring some transformation so that this instrument can give out soothing and pleasant sound. So he chose a pipe with a natural hollow. So they used a pipe, because panji has a bulge, because it is made of a gourd, right? It is kind of a bulge, and there is a bulge, and so they made this change. They used a pipe, and this pipe with a natural hollow stem, and that was longer, it was longer and broader than the panji, and made 7 holes. They made 7 holes on it, and in the body of the pipe, right, on the body of the pipe. And when they played on it, closing and opening some of these holes. Let me just remind you, flute and sehnai, they are two different things. There are fine line difference between these two musical instruments, right? So when they played it on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. He played the instrument before royalty, and those musicians, they played this instrument, this new instrument. You can see now you can see the difference. The images, we have the images. This is panji and this is shehnai. So you could actually see the difference, and now you can also differentiate shehnai with flute. There's a lot of difference, right? So the instrument, now it played after the transformation, it played a very nice song and nice music, and everyone was impressed. So the instrument, so different from the panji, had to be given a new name, and so that is why, because it is a chain, so they gave it a new name. Since it was first played in Shah's chambers and was played by Nai. Nai means barber, so they have given this name Shehnai. So you should remember this, that why Shehnai was named Shehnai, because it was first played in Shah's chamber and it was played by Nai. So they gave this instrument Shehnai. So children, that's all for today's session. So in the next part of this chapter, in the third part of this chapter, we will try to finish it, and in the fourth part of the chapter we will discuss all the question answers, textual comprehensions one, right? And in please, it is always advised and recommended, and I think it is actually mandatory that you must complete your homework. Thank you everyone.